In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
There are some times that we have to talk about things that are not easy to discuss. This is not easy to discuss. And your feelings about this are important because would be the biggest story of our time. In so many ways. The Jeffrey Epstein story, which is terrifying enough, has an aspect to it that keeps coming up in the files over and over and over again, which suggests, and I want to know how you feel about this, which suggests that cannibalism was part of this human trafficking. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Why can't we eat babies? What's wrong with eating babies? If we've got extra babies around that nobody wants, why can't we eat them, right?
I'm really worried about that line of thinking. I think that's wrong, and I think it's a little dangerous. It sounds almost.
You're not you're just not imagining those circumstances.
No. So let me clarify, because this is important, right? So it has such terrible consequences, both in terms of what we are doing to our captors and what we are doing to our own morality, and the message we're sending to the rest of the world about whether we're good guys or bad guys, that I wouldn't do it. I might not do it even if I thought that it was absolutely going to work. When I don't think it is, it's very unlikely. Right? That once you start, no, it's not. That's why you've got to avoid those beginnings to avoid those endings. They never started little and remained little. It always starts a little bit, and then they're drawing and quartering people.
You are ignoring half of my argument, which is, I'm arguing in most cases it's not psychopathology.
Sam, that seems like an incredible excuse for it.
No, Sam Harris can't figure out why we can't eat babies, right? It makes me look like an ass.
So we agree there. Okay. Now, the slight caveat to that, or a very important caveat to that, is that, hey, isn't this a better way of life? I got 72 girls in Vegas that are better, right? So
you seem to think I'm much more hawkish than I am. You and I might check the same boxes. And the moment you accept, and again, many people don't accept this for reasons I cannot fathom, but the moment you accept that certain people really do eat babies, death today would not be a bad thing for them. Why can't we eat babies? Give me an ethical argument about why this is really, really wrong. Because just think about this. If I thought that my neighbor was torturing children in his basement, right? And then how are prisoners going to behave who just have all these animosities?
Sam, clearly the right idea isn't to kill all of them.
No, but I think you could. It's possible.
An actual terrifying intellectual conversation on viewer-supported television, an actual debate that it was a possibility that our minds would ever go there for a public discussion is almost as bad as actually it happening. The process, the possibility of eating human flesh. How do you feel about this? Mark, on the other side of midnight, welcome to 800-848-9222. Mark, welcome to the show.
We can take warning from 2 stories in which fiction is apparently now becoming fact. In the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis talks about beings who have recipe books for man pies, and they want to catch the Narnian children in order to make man pies out of them. The other one to look into is To Serve Man from the Twilight Zone. The Kennemites come to our planet. They enrich our crop growing. They enrich everything, and they promise paradisal recreation on their own planet, all for the purpose of acting on a book called To Serve Man. It is not an altruistic book. It's how to cook man. Those are the two fictional stories that we should take warning from.
I agree. We should take warning. I can't even imagine how that could happen, but it's very much a conversation when you look at the Epstein files. It is a very matter-of-fact transaction in the Epstein files, which I had no interest in because I just figured he was a whack job serving really rich people with women, tragically, but it may have been quite a bit more than that. And I thank you very much for the call at 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. It's live radio with Walter Sterling. You and I are discussing the possibility that in the Epstein dynamic, in the human trafficking, part of that human trafficking was the consumption of human blood, which, when treated a certain way, when chemically charged a certain way as a result of supreme, unbelievable fear, when drunk, would make people feel incredibly strong, incredibly young, and look much younger. Of great appeal to celebrities who were desperate to maintain their looks. That's what that's about. If that is so, the celebrities who drank the human blood to look younger, what's the penalty? Is it possible? Usually, as a talk show host, I have very clear points of view. My God, I do. This stuns me into almost silence.
The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.